if you're an introvert, I'm making this video for you because as a fellow introvert myself, I've made many mistakes and I want to share them with you so you don't have to ruin your relationships or miss out on potential like friendships or relationships that you would have otherwise had. And I thought about how I want to like structure this video, and I could just give you like tips like most people do online, but I realized that those tips have never like helped me. Like, yes, go out more, you know, be more social, smile, you know, have like conversation starters, like cool. You can have all these things, but oftentimes the issue is much deeper than that. It's not going to be fixed by these like small hacks. And so I want to share with you a story that goes over probably some of my most embarrassing mistakes. And through the story, I want to show you the lessons that have actually made a difference in my ability just to form better connections, much deeper friendships, and like lifelong friends. And the story I want to tell you about is 3 years ago, I was studying in the US. I was at the University of Pennsylvania. I was there for half a year on this exchange program. So basically I was there studying and traveling. So pretty cool life. But I also had the goal of trying to make as many new friends as possible. And so in the like first few weeks there, I was just going to all these parties, trying to meet new people. And on one of the first few weeks, a girl reached out to me. A girl reached out to me who I didn't know who she was, but we were in like the same like group, like the big friendship group. And so she reached out and she asked if we could hang out. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I like didn't think too much of it. I was just like, cool, another opportunity to like meet a new friend. And so I met up with her. We went ice skating, went on dinner. She was pretty cute, but okay, I'll explain later. So anyways, so that's kind of how things started. We just continued talking. And then around like a few weeks later, it was the mid-semester break. So this is where they give you like a week of holidays in the middle of the school year. And me and my other group of friends, not including her, we were going to a trip to Orlando in Florida. And she found out about it. And so as a last minute like message, she actually messaged me if she could come with us to our like friendship group like trip together. And initially like obviously I just like talked to like my friends. They were completely chill with it because it didn't really matter that we had an extra person. So she came with us. But the thing is, she had to book a room by herself because we already like booked a room before. So us four, we were staying in like a double hotel room. Like it was literally 2 guys, 2 girls. So I was with another guy in a non-sus way on like one bed, and the 2 other girls were like on the other bed. So it was a cramped room. And she was by herself because she had to like book a new room. But anyway, we got there and we were checking out the hotel rooms and we realized it was just very cramped. And at that stage, the other girl came in and she was telling us how her room was so spacious. She booked like a double room when it was just herself. And so eventually we got to the idea that I was actually going to stay with her, and that way it's going to be spacious for both of us. And it was just because like I knew her better. So anyways, I ended up staying with her for a night. And this was 3 years ago. This is the first time like I stayed with a girl alone in a hotel room. So you can probably imagine what I was thinking at that stage. But anyways, so I moved my stuff over, we got into the room, and it was already like quite late at this stage, so we were just washing up, getting ready for bed. And you can probably already imagine the thoughts in my mind, like what should I do? What should I talk to her? Like what should I say? What do I do if she does this? Like all these possibilities ran through my head, and I was just kind of like just like paralyzed because it was like such a new situation for me. I didn't know how to like approach it. And so anyways, we got to the room, we just started talking a bit, and I probably said the worst thing you could say in that stage. I didn't ask her any more questions. I didn't ask her out on a date. Instead, what I said was, I'm feeling a bit tired. I'm going to go to bed. It was 9 p.m. and I went to bed while she like was on her bed, just on her phone. And that was it. That was the end of the night. And we woke up the next day and we continued on with like other things, like other activities, like as a group. And so you might be thinking, okay, that's super anticlimactic. Like, why didn't you make a move? Why didn't you talk to her? Why didn't you like at least say something, even though you like secretly liked her? And the reason is, I was honestly just scared. I'd never been in this situation before. I didn't know how to approach it. And so I took the bitch move, which was just to like escape from the situation and just sleep. Because then I could just remove myself from the discomfort. Like, that story had always stuck in my mind, because it was like, what if I just like actually had a proper conversation instead of like just trying to escape the uncomfortableness of the situation. And I was telling like a friend, and they were like, yeah, I mean, you probably should have said something. I mean, she reached out to you first, you went on like this ice skating like date together, you liked her, and she asked to come to the trip with you, and then you just ignored her and just went to bed. Like, so the fault is really with me in this case. And so I realized from this situation that, like, I don't even think this is an idea with introvert. So maybe this title isn't like fully correct, but it's just the idea of wanting to avoid uncomfortable social situations. If you're someone that avoids like the discomfort, it's very hard to like form meaningful relationships. And this happened again on the same trip. And this was with my other friends. So like on a separate night, we were like staying together, and same thing. They were about to play a game called, what's it called? We're Not Really Strangers. Basically, you ask like very deep and personal questions about each other, and you try and understand like just each other's like deepest, darkest secrets, insecurities, things like that. It's like one of those icebreaker activities you do with close friends. But when they mentioned that they were going to do that, I avoided it again. I just went to bed, and just didn't play the game. And I'm not saying like, you have to play these games or whatever, but I'm saying the underlying theme across all these stories is I just avoided the discomfort. And you might think that this won't happen to you, but when you're in this exact situation, it's so easy to like just bitch out and not like play, like, this isn't about playing a game. It's about like having these like important connections and these important conversations. Because what I've realized after this fact is I didn't form any like true deep friendships. I just formed these surface level friends who like we just had small talk together. We knew which classes we were doing and the surface level stuff, but that was it. I never understood anyone to a much deeper level. And so the reason I'm telling you this is because if you want to be able to form those deeper connections, those lifelong friends, you need to be able to have like these, they're not even uncomfortable situations. They're just unfamiliar conversations, especially like for someone like myself who hadn't had these like conversations in the past about like deep, dark, secrets, relationships, things like that. It's important to have these conversations. And now I know like that was a few years ago. Now a few years later, I've had those like relationships. I had these deeper conversations with girls, with guys, and it's just allowed me to like connect with someone much quicker than if I was just, engaging in basic small talk. And so I've realized that the secret to forming these deeper connections, these deeper friendships, meaningful relationships, is by having these more uncomfortable or unfamiliar conversations. But the thing is, as you have these conversations more and more, you eventually become more comfortable with them. And you're able to form these like closer ties with people that otherwise would just stay on the surface level. So if you're an introvert or someone that avoids the discomfort of these like social interactions, trust me, this is probably one of the most life-changing things you can do. Take a step outside your comfort zone and have one of these like deeper like conversations. Try and engage with someone on a much deeper level, and you'll be surprised that what comes from that can be truly beautiful. So hope that embarrassing story can save you a lot of failures and regrets in your life. And yeah, let me know in your comments if you had any similar embarrassing moments. But yeah, with that, have a good one.